Okay, let's see if this worked. I hope so. Hey. It actually did. Look at that. My self-promotion has gotten slightly more involved as of late. Do this. Dope. Okay. Let us actually get this whole party started. Okay, so we are back with more of the Professor Oak challenge. I know it has been quite some time since I've done this, but I've really had the itch to get back into the groove of things. And you know what? While I am thinking about it, let me pull up my little document here so that way I have everything nice and set. I want to make sure that I am not missing anything as I progress. Alright. Let's see, our most recent grind is this grind, pre-batch 4 and 5. All we're needing to get right now is evolving Sand Slash, and then I believe it is... who is it? I think it's Cacturn. Sand Slash, Cacturn, and then we have to get... we have to revive one of the fossils, which I believe I picked the Claw Fossil, so let me just double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure it was the Claw Fossil, but we need to revive our fossil. Did they move the fossil into here? Did I never get my fossil? I thought... Hang on. Bear with me here. Alright, I'm working on Cacturn, clearly. I suppose I didn't get my fossil. Alright, well, we are going to work on that, I guess. We're going to get our fossil first, because I want to knock that out of the way sooner rather than later. It looks like I should register my bike here. Yes, of course. Yeah, great, Uproar. Come on. So I started playing a bit of Pokemon Blue last night because, you know, I like the achievement set. Once they did the set split, they added some really unique achievements into the game. And during my playtime, you know, I got up to the second gym. I think I did pretty good there. I rounded out a couple of those achievements. I did, what else did I do? I did the SSN completely, got all those, and you know, I did some really solid progress. Everything that's missable up to that point I took care of. I forgot to catch Clefairy in Mount Moon. That's on me. I hadn't played in a while, so my progress was a little skewed. Especially because I had the achievement for picking my fossil in Mount Moon, but for some reason I never, like, fully finished Mount Moon. So, whatever the case may be on that, you know, I did my progress again. And I go to open it up this morning, and even though I saved 3 times at the Pokemon Center after I got out of the SSN, I was doing my healing, I somehow still got teleported to my save from when I saved right before doing Misty's gym. So I lost all that progress. Like, the achievements are still there. I didn't lose those, but it's the fact that I lost the progress on what should have been a super, super easy, like, I'm disappointed, to say the very least. Not with anything or anyone in particular, because obviously, like, it's not anyone's particular fault that happened. But, you know, it's just, I'm disappointed, I guess, in my emulator. Alright. Hyper Potion. Yeah, gotta make sure we're checking these. Potion, Super Potion, and Repel. Alright. Yeah, we want to make sure we're looking, rare candies, nuggets, anything of that nature that we can take advantage of. We want. That's good. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I had a feeling that I never got that item there. You know, sometimes you just get that little inkling. And then I got this down here. Okay. Just keep on grinding away. We're specifically looking for, I guess, the Mirage Tower. Now I'm confused. Because I feel like it should. So I just have to keep exiting the route over and over again? Old Rady's less. Yep. Yep. Got to respawn. Come on. There we go. Da-da-da. It's supposed to be right here. You know what? I mean, this isn't too bad. You know, we're just gonna do a little bit of light grinding. Thankfully, we have an overabundance of items at our disposal. Full restore. See, look at that. Look at that. Just pull something up real quick. Yeah, it would be right here. Alright, I mean, I will stumble upon it eventually. I just gotta keep on grinding my way through. Nope. See that yet. Nope. It'll have to spawn eventually. Although it might not. Oh! What? This, in the last, like, week, this is the third full odd shiny that I have found while playing a game. I'm just gonna chuck Ultra Balls at it. Oh. What the heck? I don't need this. I don't even need this. What do I name her? I'm so taken aback right now. I could not have predicted this in the slightest. Okay. Why did it do that? I'm gonna name her Stapler. I don't know why. Okay. I am real quick gonna check something because I have... Actually, yeah. I have this idea that I might have done something without thinking about it. So first things first, we're gonna get the HM for strength because we're gonna need that. Be gone with you. Oh yeah, get a repeat ball from this guy. Fun thing that not a lot of people realize that, you know, when you deliver the letter to Steven, you go back to Mr. Stone, he'll give you the experience share. But when you deliver the Devon goods to Captain Stern, and you go back to that specific spot, that's the Devon worker that you saved in both Petalburg and when you know, got the Devon goods back from the Team Aqua Grunt. What he'll do is he'll actually give you that repeat ball as a special, like, thank you gift. Okay. Did I already do this? Okay, I did not. Did I get a claw fossil and put it in the PC box? No. And just to be absolutely sure I'm not going crazy, I don't have a claw fossil in here. anywhere. Okay, I had to make sure I'm not losing it. Every bit of experience counts. I think I'm still in amazement. Sorry, I know I'm not talking. I'm still kind of in amazement that I just casually found a shiny trap hitch out of nowhere. It was not even remotely what I was expecting to happen there. Okay, nothing. Oh my god. Come on, man. Oh! Cool. No doubt. Hey! Look at that. I just needed to be a bit more persistent, and I guess alleviate the doubts that were setting into my brain. Okay, so we need to have both access to Rock Smash and a Mach Bike in order to navigate the Mirage Tower. At the top of the Mirage Tower, once we navigate the puzzle here, as you can see, if you don't do it fast enough, you go through the floor. And if you corner yourself, like I just did there, you also will have to fall through the floor. It's a lot of precise movement, something that I've never been good at with the Mach Bike. Thankfully, I'm still better than I was as a child, because I don't think I ever made it to the top of Mirage Tower the first time I played this game. Okay, very good. Real quick, let's check our little lineup here. Okay, we do have some items to take. Very good, okay. We're gonna break both of these rocks because there is a chance that we can find encounters while we break the rocks. Always something to keep in mind. And then I don't remember if there are any like hidden items in the Mirage Tower. I could very well be wrong, but it never hurts to double check. We're going to start pin missiling here just because our absorbed power points are getting really low, but we should be near the top. Yeah, okay, perfect. So we have now made our way up, and we get our choice between either the root fossil or the claw fossil. The root fossil, which is right here, would give you access to the Lilip line. Lilip is a typically more defensive Pokemon, especially once you get into the Cradily side of things. And then there is the claw fossil, which we'll go right in green screen that. Claw Fossil, which gives you access to Anorith. Anorith is a pretty solid physically attacking bug rock type Pokemon. It's interesting, it kind of gets to avoid some of the pitfalls that you experience with bug types. It is, it's not weak to rock, it's not weak to flying, it's not weak to fire. It loses those primary weaknesses that bug typically has to deal with. On top of that, I believe it is only weak to, I want to say, water and ice? Maybe water, ice, and ground, I believe, because I know bug doesn't resist ground the way that rock does. Or the way that grass does, rather. So I think it's only water, ice, and ground type moves that can hit for super effective damage. And you know what? Maybe steel. Maybe steel can hit. But there's no quad weaknesses on the Anorith line, which I think is a really solid trade-off. Like, you're not really losing that much in terms of weaknesses overall, which is really good. So now we're just going to take a quick look back at the documentation. So Cacnea needs to get to level 32. Sandshrew needs to get to level 22. So realistically, I should be doing Sandshrew first, just because it'll take the longest out of those two. And then I do also obviously need to resurrect my Anorith fossil, which actually I'm going to get the process started on that now. Go back to Rustboro. I know we just left there, but, we would have had to go back eventually. Because we gotta cut through to get to Petalburg no matter what. Okay, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna move Pokemon, and we are going to. We're going to take Shroomba out. I know Shroomba is usually one of our staple mainstays, but we're going to maintain having Shroomba out of the box, just so that way we can keep Anorith as a spot open, so we can deposit it in the PC here. Because we're going to need to do this, talk to this guy, and we'll show him our Claw Fossil. We have to wait, so that means leave the room and come back in, and then boom, we now have our Anorith. Alright. What could I name this thing? You seem like a Scuttles to me. Your name is going to be Scuttles. Alright, so now we have Scuttles the Anorith. Anorith evolves at level 40 into Armaldo, so we have a bit of a longer grind ahead of us for that. But thankfully, you start with 2 moves that you can use for the attacking purposes of the grind, which is not too shabby, all things considered. We are now just going to real quick dump this bad boy in the box. We're going to take Sneefer out, so that way we can maximize our overall profits here. And we are just going to make our way back to our optimal grinding spot, so we can get the most possible experience, and we can carry on with our little quest here to evolve Cacnea into Cacturne. Alright, so this is where we grind. We're going to grind over here. Let me just heal up, get our power points back. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to hit with super effective damage, but what we're at least hoping to find is we're looking for the, We're looking for the Volbeat and the Illumise that spawn in this grass. They have the highest amount of experience yield that we can possibly get from any wild encounter, which is very interesting. They yield higher than even the higher leveled Pokemon in the desert, which is why this is the most optimal spot for grinding in this part of the challenge. At least for most cases, I would say. I believe Cacnea is in a faster growth group, so it, you know, it gains levels faster than most other Pokemon do. Not by much, I would say. It's not like a massive difference, but from what I've noticed, Cacnea is, you know, it's picking up levels quicker, which is really good because it's going to minimize the amount of time I need to get to level 32, and therefore minimize the amount of time I have on grinding. Bare minimum, I want to finish the gym badges that I need to get today, which are Brawly and Norman in that order. Once that has been done, I fully intend to continue for as long as possible from that point forward, but, you know, obviously we'll have to wait and see how things go and how long things take. Obviously, the stream is starting out pretty lucky. I mean, we are probably not even a full 40 minutes into the stream, probably even less than that. And we have already caught a full-odd shiny Pokemon, something that is completely unnecessary to the entire premise of this challenge. But, like, the fact that I found a full-odd shiny in the desert, that has been happening to me way too often lately. In my personal playthrough of Ruby that I'm doing for the achievement grinding, I managed to catch a full-odd shiny Electrode in New Mauville, and then I was playing Pokemon Ultraviolet, which is a Fire Red ROM hack, a few days ago, and my first wild encounter that I could catch Pokemon with, like, I literally just got Pokeballs from Professor Oak and I left Pallet Town, and I managed to find and catch a shiny Rattata. Like, it's insane how my shiny luck has been the last couple of days, and these are all full odds captures. I wasn't doing any kind of, you know, shiny hunting method to make it easier to get a Pokemon. I was just playing the game, and then lo and behold, here are these shiny Pokemon, and now it's happening again in base Emerald. So now this is the game whose RNG is so donked up that shiny hunting is based on frame data. So I hit the perfect frame to find a shiny Trapinch in the desert. I don't... I could not have planned that any better if I tried, and I've never tried to RNG manipulate in Pokemon Emerald. I don't get how it works. So, like, I'm just lucky as hell right now. I hope someone eventually clips that. That's a clip. That is a clip-worthy moment right there. Okay, we got to level 27. Let's carry on over to the heals real quick. We'll do our healing pit stop and check our pickups while we are doing so. I think that's a good way to go about it. Bunch of super potions. We are basically going to have an infinite supply of super potions by the end of this entire experience. Because, like, look at, like, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I need to find more, like, Pokeballs and stuff. Come on. There we go. Ooh. Full beat, that's different. Do not see those very often in this prize. I mean, they're the 1% encounter, so that's not, like, crazy to imagine. I'm really hoping to get another attacking move here. I'm not looking at the movesets. I should be. I should be looking at these movesets to figure out, like, when the grinds are going to become significantly easier. Come on. Okay. No new move at 28 either. Everyone's got something. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. We got a nugget. More money in our pockets. Might as well go and sell that now. Let's see. we also have that Stardust here. We got that. And we got the Nugget. Beautiful. Okay. Get our grind back on. Let's hope that level 29 yields something new. Something that I can hit with. Needle Arm, maybe? Is that a Gen 3 move? Pretty sure it was Cacnea and Cacturn's signature move in Gen 3. Ooh. I've not seen a C-Dot in a little bit. And the crit on the Illumise, not bad. Trying to maximize the amount of time I can spend out here without going back to heal. I don't need to hit the Poochyena for super effective damage. I don't. Getting the almost exact same experience from just doing it with the absorbs. Oddish I do need to hit with the pin missile though. I need that neutral damage. Quad resist is not the way of... Feint attack, that's something. Let's get rid of sand attack. Get rid of sand attack for feint attack. See, that gives us the opportunity to stay out here just a little bit longer, which I like. The more damage, the better. Yeah, we'll do the pin missile. Other pin missile. Alright, we cannot rely on pin missile, at least for the remainder of our set grind right now. We got one more absorb left in us. Interesting. We're not going to be doing a lot of damage to Poochyenas anymore, but thankfully we can hit Oddish for neutral, and we can hit, I believe, the Illumise line for neutral as well, so that's at least something more consistent. Not very effective does not matter in this context. Alright, let's go. We'll get to level 30 right there. 30 is a good stop point to go heal. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? Ultra Ball, we love it. Full heal, usable. Great Ball, love it. Escape Rope, sure. And a potion. Okay. Nothing crazy. The Ultra Ball was the best thing we got there, for sure. We're going to keep on the Absorb strat on the Poochyenas, just so we can preserve our pin missiles for the Oddishes. And I think I want to preserve my feint attacks for the Illumise and potential Volbeat as well. We don't need to use healing items, we just need to get rid of poison. Okay, feint attack. Boom. Crazy yield on the experience there. Level 13 feint attack. It's what we like to see. Meryl isn't doing too bad either. I definitely want to see more of level 14 Illumise show up. I think that would be preferred. And the Poochyenas and the Oddish are basically doing nothing as well. Come on. Alright, we like the free heal. Always good. Ooh. Level 14. That's good. We have not seen a level 14 one show up recently. Another free heal. I think it's entirely possible I hit 32 before the next heal. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. Illumises. Please, please give me more Illumises. I'm begging. I'm begging you. Oh my goodness. My goodness gracious. What are we doing? Okay. We are down to just feint attack. Can we make it to level 32 before having to go back and heal? If the wild spawns would be more favorable, I might not have to be so worried. See, that's what I like to see. One or two more. Oh, it's it. This is it. Cacking. Alright. This is very exciting. Let's fucking go. Alright. That is number 99 on the Pokedex. I was going to say 97, 98, and then I got myself thrown around a little bit. Okay. So, we now have that complete. We can start work on Sandrew. Just because Sandrew is going to be really soon. And while we're at it, obviously, got to do our little item roundup. We got another Great Ball. We love that. X attack, okay. Super potion, escape rope, and another super potion. Okay, some heals, very good. Before we move forward, oh my god, excuse me. Before we move forward, let's see what we're working with here. We have Scratch, Defense, Curl, Sand Attack, and Poison Sting. So not the greatest moveset in the world, but it is something. We are going to reorient our moves real quick. And just keep on going. I don't want to have to heal too frequently, so we'll see. Scratch is definitely my better damaging option here. Unfortunately, it looks like because of the lower level of our Pokemon compared to the wild Pokemon involved, it is going to be a bit more of a back and forth, but that's okay. It's nothing we haven't dealt with yet, and we should be fine. The Oddish obviously poses a bit of a threat, being that it has a stab super effective move that also heals its own health. But, you know, it shouldn't be too bad, especially if we keep doing things like getting crits there. Illumise will be posing a bit of a difficult challenge, but not all that bad. Okay, do a quick item roundup. Antidote. No, we do not want to switch. Full heal. And the King's Rock. Okay. Sure. We'll take that. Alright, we just need 2 more levels to go until we can evolve our Sandrew into a Sand Slash. He's in his edgy phase. Or she's in her edgy phase. My apologies. Did not mean to misgender you, Sandrew. There we go. Perfect, okay. No additional moonlights. Ooh! Back to back. Keep it up. Keep it up. Your attack can be lowered so many times. But you know what they can't do? They can't lower your resolve. Come on now. Alright. We're right there to level 21. Alright, this last little grind up to 22 should not be too bad. Oh, thank goodness, another Illumise, just what I needed. And it didn't lower my attack stat? Oh, you didn't want it to be difficult. Thank you so much. See, you're a pain in the ass. Battle's barely started and you're already causing trouble. I'm noticing there's probably about a 5-second delay between what I'm saying and what is playing on stream. Nothing crazy or new in that regard. But it is very interesting whenever I get to notice the actual delay that's in place. Alright, this should be the last one I need before Sandshrew evolves. Yeah. Alright. Very good, very good. And there is Sandslash for us. We love to see it. We love to see it. Alright. We can now officially be done with our Sandslash. It's time to put Sandrew away. And it's time to take Scuttles into the big leagues here. We're also going to do, obviously, good old-fashioned item cleanup. X attack, okay. Another X attack. Full heal. Just going to see if we can go 3 for 3. Super potion and a repel. Alright. Just keep scratching. It can't hurt you. Cannot wait to get more actual attacking moves on this thing so that I can do that quicker. Ay. So tedious sometimes. Sometimes, I say. Come on. Oh my god. So I've been back on my movie binging ways, you know. And just do this. I've been watching, you know, just whatever comes across my feed on Netflix or whatever, just because I'm, like, letting the universe take the wheel. And last night, I started watching this one movie, whose name I'm already forgetting, but it was like a Kevin Hart heist movie, where he's like some sort of, like, master thief that gets contracted by the CIA to steal something from a criminal. That's the plot that I got to understanding, and then the very beginning of the movie is all about, like, buying an NFT to cover up stealing an actual Van Gogh, and then praising the NFT artist played by Jacob Batalon, aka the CEO of Sex from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And, like talking about how, like, oh, we gotta look to the future sometimes. We gotta support the modern age. And it's like, we do not need to support the creation and selling of NFTs, guys. Like, That is not the hill that you want to be dying on. Rare candy! Alright. Like, not even a little bit. Is that the direction we should be going in? We got 5 rare candies. That is not bad right now. Generating our renewable supply. But yeah, it was very disappointing to, like, watch. Not that I expected more from Kevin Hart, because, frankly, I didn't. It's Kevin Hart. I'm not sitting here expecting, like, the pinnacle of all comedy movies with morality behind the wheel. You know, it's a Kevin Hart movie. I'm going in expecting schlock. What did I get? Schlock. The only difference is I decided that my watch time was not worth it. Meaning that it would get pushed to more people on the algorithm, and they'd be like, "Oh, I like the funny NFT movie." Like, no, it's a load of crap, and I refuse to endorse anything like that because NFTs are garbage, hot garbage. So I decided to watch a comfort movie instead, and I threw on The Amazing Spider-Man, which I will sit here and say it's not the greatest Spider-Man movie in the world, far from it. But you know what? I think the movie has a charm to it. It understands the suffering of Peter Parker in a way that I think hasn't really been touched on in a lot of movies. Like, yeah, you know, they hit certain notes of it, but you know, The Amazing Spider-Man was the first one to kind of try and tackle a more chronological experience for Peter, you know. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, fantastic, the pinnacle of its time, one of the forefathers of the modern superhero genre. Without it, we would not be where we are today. That, Blade, the X-Men. That being said, it starts a little different, you know. It's got Mary Jane as the main love interest, which is, you know, not as expected, and the Green Goblin is dead before he can do, you know, what the Green Goblin is known to do. Then you've got Doc Ock, and then he's dead before Doc Ock can do what Doc Ock does, and then you get the next movie, and all of a sudden you've got Topher Grace Venom, who I think, granted, works as a dark foil to dorky Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. But, like, I don't know. Eddie Brock's supposed to be an Olympic-level bodybuilder. He's supposed to be pretty damn big. Anyways, and the admittedly phenomenal Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman, who had every reason to be the only villain of that movie, if not for studio meddling from Avi Arad. But those movies, they did things differently. With Mary Jane being the primary love interest, they didn't introduce Gwen Stacy until the 3rd film, which by then, you know, Peter and Mary Jane were already in an established relationship, and Gwen Stacy did nothing more than pose as a sort of obstacle between Peter and Mary Jane when they weren't even technically together at that point. And it's like, it's very different. Versus what The Amazing Spider-Man did was they started with Gwen Stacy, because that's technically correct. Like, yeah, Peter has had a couple girlfriends throughout his history as a character, but one of his earliest consistent girlfriends was was Gwen Stacy. And in the case of Gwen Stacy, you know, her existence in Peter's life, as well as the existence that she brings with her of her family on Spider-Man's life, it's super impactful to his character, because you've got Captain Stacy, Gwen Stacy's father. I cannot speak today. Yeah, Gwen Stacy's father, Captain Stacy. He is a very central figure in the Spider-Man mythos at the very beginning point of time. He is one of the first major losses that Peter has to go through after his Uncle Ben's death. One that he kind of feels directly responsible for, and how he wished he could have done something different and saved him. So the death of Captain Stacy being touched on in The Amazing Spider-Man, and the guilt and anguish that Peter has to face because of that death now weighing on his conscience, and then the correlation that it has to the one person that he wants to be able to turn to and rely on right now through all of this stuff, being the daughter of a man who just died, who told you in his last breaths to leave his daughter out of things. Like, I think they could have handled stuff better, for sure. It's not a perfect narrative by any stretch, but I do appreciate that they really tried to spin the correct narrative for Peter at the start. You know, he is a teenager and he's experiencing love for the first time, and he has to deal and cope with the loss of a figure who, you know, he swore to protect people once he put on the mask, never let what happened to Uncle Ben happen to anyone else if he could help it, and then it happens again to someone else that he cares about. Someone he respects and cares about dies in a way where he feels like he could have done more. And it's a lot to have to tackle your own insecurities and realize that sometimes you can't save everyone. Not trying to quote Into the Spider-Verse here, but I just did. You know, it happens, and it's not a sacrifice that comes willingly or easily. So I appreciate that they try, and then they do the death of Gwen Stacy in 2. And while granted the entire rest of the second movie was an absolute mess of corporate meddling and studio interference, just doing its absolute damnedest to prevent the movie from maintaining the original vision that Mark Webb intentionally had planned for the Amazing Spider-Man universe. You know, there was so much going on behind the scenes that forced this movie to become something it wasn't, which is what happened with Spider-Man 3. You know, studio meddling forced that movie to become something that it wasn't, and it did unintentionally shift the narrative away from what Sam Raimi had originally intended, what Mark Webb had originally intended, and, you know, it struggled after that point. Most of the Sonyverse basically crumbled. The Amazing Spider-Man became a non-character in this franchise. And he has not had any relevance until No Way Home, and has not had any relevance since No Way Home. Now that the MCU has its own Spider-Man thing going on, and it's, I don't know, it's different. It is different. I wish that Spider-Man media maintained the same level of care that was attempted in The Amazing Spider-Man 2012. I wish, or not 2012, was it 2010, 2011? First one came out? Not sure. Not 100% sure. I wish that they maintained that same attempt at caring for the mythos of Spider-Man. And I will not knock everything that's happened so far. You know, they've certainly taken a more modern interpretation on certain things that I respect. I really like Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it's a really solid, like, A to B plot movie. I like their version of the Vulture. But, you know, you get into Far From Home, and you're looking at kind of sloppy all around. Like, that's the problem with trying to fit the Spider-Man movie in terms of, like, how they do their narrative structures into the exact narrative structure of the MCU. You are always beholden to the events that happen around your movie, and so your plot has to line up with that movie, or else it just doesn't really work all that well. And, like, I appreciate some of the stuff they touched on, like the grief of losing Tony Stark, although I feel like it leaned too heavily into the whole, like, oh, Iron Man Jr. shit that people like to bring up. Because, like, admittedly, yeah, like, Peter Parker in the MCU holds a bit more of a reverence to Iron Man, when Peter Parker in the comics typically has a bit of deference towards Tony Stark, especially after the events of Civil War and the ramifications of that. Him and Tony Stark tend not to be on the same side. He was Team Cap by the end of Civil War. He left Tony's side after being forced to reveal his identity. Well, not forced. He willingly revealed his identity, and the consequences of that came back to blow up in his face. And so, you know, he went to Team Cap, and he fought on the side of anti-registration. They don't really touch upon that in the MCU, because he remains Team Iron Man the whole way through. Oh, Mr. Stark! Mr. Stark! Like, I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I do. I can tell that, you know, there was some real effort put into the creation of the movie. and the creation of his version of the character. And I think Tom Holland does a fine job playing Peter. I do. I definitely don't think he is my number one or my number two Peter Parker Spider-Man. And I don't really buy into the whole, like, Tobey Maguire was a great Peter and Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man and Tom Holland is the best of both worlds, because he kind of isn't. Like, he lacks a lot of that snarky charm that Spider-Man is supposed to have, where he's like a little bit abrasive, but he's still sweet and friendly, and the comments that he makes are juxtaposed to his own general air of friendliness, because he's out here like taunting and mocking the villains, and he does it a little bit, but he doesn't do it in the way that I would expect Spider-Man to, the way Andrew Garfield did. And, you know, he's a little awkward and nerdy, but not in the way that Peter Parker was. At least in his high school days. But after the spider bite, Peter stopped being as awkward and nerdy. He didn't put on this persona of, ooh, I'm a bumbling dork, ooh. You know, and like, yeah, he was a nerdy guy, but he carried himself with an air of confidence more so than he did. He wasn't shy and afraid, and he didn't back down from bullies. He stood up to them because he recognized that, like, no one deserves to be mocked or, like, harmed in any way, shape, or form. And now, while granted, he recognizes that he would never act out against the bullies, he would never back down from them either. He would stand tall in the face of the adversity, because that's what Peter Parker does, and that's what Spider-Man does. And that's what I feel Andrew Garfield really, not to come back to the Amazing Spider-Man, but Andrew Garfield really touches on that version of Spider-Man and that version of Peter Parker, who he might not necessarily be the popular guy or the little guy, but he's always going to look out for everyone that's hurting and everyone that's in trouble. You know, he stops Flash from bullying that kid, and like he takes the brunt of Flash's aggression once that kid is let go and that kid is okay. Because he recognizes that, like, you know, he was the dorky kid getting picked on at one point. And this even before he gets his spider powers, too. You know, like, it's a sign of his characteristic growth that they're able to touch on that version of Peter. Because I feel like they definitely tried to make him more of the ultimate Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield. Even though he wasn't, you know, ultimate Spider-Man, he was the Amazing Spider-Man. I feel like, especially when you look at certain designs, like with Electro, they pulled more on the Ultimate Universe. I just wish that they had actually paid attention to the source material more, and we got cooler things than, like, Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin. Or they let Kurt Connors just wear the lab coat for more than 5 seconds. Please, I'm begging of you. It's got so much sauce. Basic gist of everything is that I like Spider-Man. I think that's the moral of the story, is that I like Spider-Man. Give me 1 second here. Come on. Okay. Do some item cleanup. It's been a little bit. Oh my god, another King's Rock. Wow. It's the second King's Rock today. More X attacks and a potion. Okay. Okie dokie, so we're closing in more and more on that level 40 milestone to getting our Anorith into an Armaldo, and I'm thinking about who I want to be our brawly Pokemon. I don't know, who would be the funniest to bring against Brawly? Because, like, I could just try and clean sweep with a flying type. I could. I basically have a guaranteed kill button for most Pokemon that I'm going to be fighting. I know I want to bring Exploud into Norman's fight. I absolutely know I do. I want to show him what a real normal type master does. 1 Exploud and 5 Zigzagoons. He is not ready. Come on. Kill faster. Oh, and I watched Age of Ultron last night. Also not the best example of an Avengers movie. Far from it. It's definitely the worst of the 4 that we have so far. But I feel like the movie isn't nearly as bad as it often gets purported to be. Like, it's not great. I will say that very much so. It's not great. But I feel like the movie itself is fine. You know, it isn't like I've seen... It's not like I've seen anything that isn't as bad or even worse from the MCU. Because I have. Because, like, Secret Invasion exists, for starters. Thor 2, The Dark World. Not great. Thor Love and Thunder. I don't know what it is with the odd-numbered Thor movies being the only ones that are even remotely good. But here we are. No, Age of Ultron is definitely not the greatest Avengers movie, but I feel like it does get slept on a little bit. It has some really good, like, building block moments in it that help set up for the further narrative. I think it's very important, obviously, to the narrative of the Infinity Saga. It introduces us to the Mind Stone. It gives us the Vision, who is very relevant right now thanks to the upcoming WandaVision, which ties into Ultron, who also is going to be an antagonist in that. He will be returning. James Spader actually returning to play the role, which brings me back to the point I was trying to make, is that it has James Spader as Ultron, a character who, until the announcement of Vision Quest and what it was going to entail, felt kind of wasted in the MCU, which is why I think a lot of people, especially like comic book fans, had a bit of an issue with the end conclusion of Avengers Age of Ultron, because, like, the first Avengers movie, Loki was the main antagonistic force leading the Chitauri army, but Loki himself did not die. Loki became a prisoner of Asgard once again. He was brought to Asgard to face the punishment for his crimes. However, Ultron was seemingly completely eradicated, and it sat weird. You know, like, this is called the Age of Ultron. This is supposed to be this big cataclysmic experience where this AI entity is basically taking over the Earth, and all he really does is lift a city out of the ground into the sky. And it's like, yeah, like, I can see where the plan was coming from and all that, but it's like, I don't know. They could have done more with Ultron, and I am happy at least that James Spader is going to be coming back to play Ultron. I absolutely adore James Spader as an actor. He is by far one of my favorite, you know, character actors that I've seen do things. Would I call him a character actor? He's one of my favorite actors that doesn't get a lot of people talking about him as much. I really appreciate his version of Ultron. And I don't know if anyone has seen The Blacklist, but I adore him on that show. He plays Raymond Reddington, FBI's most wanted criminal, and he has this aura about him. And I do not mean to use the term, like, I've been hanging out with my younger brother too much. He has a certain energy to him. Like, he walks into a room and he commands the room. He takes over conversations with charm and wit and these fascinating anecdotes about his life, and then he shoots you in the face. Like, you can't help but be captivated by a man so satisfied in his own movement that he is. Raymond Reddington is. That's just how he rolls. I love it. For anyone who wants to watch a show that is pretty good and then it hits a pretty sharp decline at around season 5, you know, The Blacklist is the one for you. Truly. Alright. Item cleanup. Nope, not Pokedex. We got a repel. We got another repel. Super potion. We're gonna save Snoofer for last. A regular potion. And X attack. We love seeing X attack. How many is that right now? We have 18 X attacks. Give me 1 second. Oh yes, we are absolutely back to the old grind, but thankfully the old grind is not that far off from a new milestone. We only need to evolve this Anorith into our lovely, lovely Armaldo, which is going to be happening in just a little under 8 levels here, or a little over 8 levels rather. So we are nearing on that milestone, which we will then be able to go take on both Brawly's gym and Norman's gym in quick succession. Since we are not able to fight Norman until we fight Brawly, and we're not able to progress and catch any more Pokemon until we defeat Norman and get Surf from Wally's dad. So, we are going to just keep at it. Thankfully, the levels are coming at least relatively quickly. We're in the good old grinding spot that I have come to absolutely hate, and I see it in my dreams. I was really happy with the Sandshrew grind because it was only 3 levels. I had a level 19 Sandshrew, it evolves at level 22. I was chilling. And then the Cacnea grind actually became a lot easier once I gained access to Feint Attack via level up, so that was pretty nice as well. Very happy to get my hands on that. But yeah, things are going pretty okay. Also, you missed it earlier. I found a full odds... Actually, hang on. Let me just let me just demonstrate, because I can't just hang on. We found this because of course I did, because I keep finding shinies for some reason. Oh boy. Most useless capture in my Professor Oak challenge. I know. Yo, indeed. I was not prepared in the slightest. I was literally just trying to get the Mirage Tower to spawn. Like, that is it. I was looking for Mirage Tower so I could get my fossil. And here comes a shiny Trapinch. Like, it serves no purpose. I already have a Flygon. It is in my box right now. That Trapinch is locked to this computer for the rest of time. You know what Sky was saying? He wants to clip some stuff? There you go. Tell him to clip that. Tell him to clip that one. Because that's content right there. The moment that shiny popped up. Oh, boy. That's true. You do have your save editor. You would be able to extract the shiny out the way you did for Brandon with his shiny Gibble. Come on. I don't care if your move is not very effective. You're gonna get defeated anyways, you punk. Can I get more Illumises, please? I would like to fight more Illumise than I would like to fight Poochyena, or Oddish, or Meryl. In that order. Did that really just happen? What is with this stream and being clippable? What is happening right now? I come back to my Professor Oak challenge, my first ever stream experience, and I am just clip farming. Unintentional clip farming. Alright, level 34. We're so close. We're so close, but so far. Ultra Nintendo. You know what? Because of the speed, this absolutely is Ultra Nintendo. You're so right. I want to get to level 35 before I have to go in here. If that's possible. I need to find, like, only Illumise, though. Oh, even then, I don't know. I mean, I still have Water Gun. It's not like I have to only use Scratch. I'm not going to use Water Gun on that. Absolutely not. Very good. Okay. Level 35. Level 35. Level 35. Okay. Let's get our heal on. Let's do a quick item cleanup with our pickup mons in the party. I did not want to do that. Great Ball, Super Potion, Escape Rope, Full Heal, what's last? Super Potion, okay. Give me just 1 sec, I'm gonna respond to some messaging. Sorry, I am discussing something with my partner. Very, very important logistical information. Let me give you some non-super speed music so you guys can actually enjoy this, instead of just listening to super speed nonsense. Okay. Alright. Back to the super speed nonsense. I would really appreciate some Illumise. I really would. Come on. Yes. Okay, perfect. It really does suck that Illumise is the highest experience yield at this point in the game. Like, there really can't be anything higher up in terms of experience yield that I can go and grind against. Like, it has to be Illumise. No, it wouldn't make sense for it to be the level 19 to 20 something Pokemon in the desert. No, their experience yield is too low. Wild Illumise, that's where it's at. Because of course it is. Oh, there we go. And right back to the grind of hell. I wish I could find Illumise more consistently, you know? Like, without having to do the bullshit RNG manipulation that I, like, would have to do. Like, oh, if I move to this tile at this time, Illumise will spawn. Like, no. I'm not messing with Emerald's broken RNG. We are not doing that. If I can get a few more Illumises, like, in conjunction with each other, like this, I think level 36 is entirely possible before I have to heal again. Ooh, Volbeat. That's pretty lucky. Pretty lucky indeed. Scratch should be out of PP now, right? Yeah. That's okay, that's okay. Depending on how this experience goes, in terms of net gain, I might even see if I can be a little greedy and go for the level 37. It's not impossible yet. Oh, C-Dot. Okay, another rare one. Ancient Power. Alright, that is our 4th attacking move, and while granted it does not have a high power point total of 5, exclusively limiting that one a bit, I'm still going to rock with it, though. Let's just keep at it, man. I mean, we still have all of our uses of Water Gun, and we now have 5 uses of Ancient Power as well, so that at least pads us out for a little bit longer. We might be able to hit level 38 here. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not going to sit here and say it's possible 100%. It's definitely more like maybe a 65% chance. Though those odds get higher every time I encounter an Illumise for sure. Let's move up to this grass. This feels interesting. Oh yeah. 38 is happening. Right, we're on to our water guns. Let's use an ancient power here for that super effective, just so I can do it. How many power points do I have of water guns? I have 21. Do I have any... max ether. Yeah. Fuck it, we ball. Let's just keep the grind going as long as humanly possible. We only have 2 levels left to go, and I really don't want to use any of my rare candies, which, speaking of, let me do a quick cleanup while I'm thinking of my items. 2 hyper potions is really good. And an ultra ball. Really solid round up there, okay. We're definitely gonna be able to do it from this, though. I want to go to this grass now. This is my lucky grass. I don't know why I called it my lucky grass. It's just grass. Come on. We're right there. We're right at level 39. It's almost possible. Give me an Illumise. Yes! One more. It's like they're trying to pave the road forward for me. Okay. That's what we like to see. More Illumises, please and thank you. Ah, my buddy sent me a snap. Let's see. Move over here again. Here we got a majority of our levels. Ah, no more scratches left. That's okay. That's okay. We are not near the end of our moves. We still got this. Oh. Come on, man. We're right there. Oh, this is so exciting. This is actually so exciting. We finally hit this point. Oh, yes. Yes. I haven't been this excited for an evolution in a while. Look at that. Look at that. Armaldo achievement unlocked. Oh, okay. There's our Armaldo. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, where is he? There he is. Come on, painter. You know what you must do. Large lad indeed. Okay, so we're going to do our quick item cleanup. Our traditional item cleanup. And then we're going to take a little boat ride. Let's see. X attack. Potion. Repel. Ultra Ball. And potion. Okay. Alright, we are on the move. For the first time in a while, we are finally going to be free. Captures. For a moment. A little momentary respite. So that we may collect ourselves. Weigh anchor for Dewford. Oh, look at all these trainers I never fought. I don't even need to do this. This serves zero purpose. Hadunk. And hadunk. Ready, one more. Boom. Look at that. The knuckle badge has been acquired. Dewford Dominator. Badge 4. Okay. We can now make our way to Petalburg. Alright, we're going to try and take the most straightforward path to our dad. Gym leader's room. Alright. Gotta get our free heal in. It is time to wreck shop. Fuck you, Dad. You were never here for Mom. Oh, stomp. Look at that. Petalburg Powerhouse. You know, it's funny, in Ruby, you have to go and manually talk to him to get Surf. They don't just give it to you there. Go back in the box. No one wants you, painter. Okay, so now with access to Surf, we also have gained access to a bunch of new exploratory methods on the map as well. Real quick, we are going to just teach Surf to our lovely boy Kipper here. Because I want Kipper to have a good move. I do. But, just because it's funny, we're going to teach Snuffer here Surf as well. Because we got to have ourselves access to as many HMs as possible with as few Pokemon as possible needed in the party. I got Roxanne's number. Okay. So now our first... Oh, by the way, we gotta check. Gotta check our items, of course. Not gonna be so silly. Floor store. Also, I'm realizing I definitely didn't get an item up here. I did get it. There's nothing in this water here. So yes, the route to the north of Rustboro, Route 115 here, we're able to surf up to a hidden section of the route. Up here. I don't want to fight any of these trainers if I can help it. So actually, I am going to turn off my super speed until I can get to the grass. Ah, Fuddruckers. Yeah, I saw that one coming. Yeah, whatever. Snooper can be evolved. Oh, boy. Iron is pretty good. Alright. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna dip real quick, I guess. Just do that. Yep. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I forget what trainers I have and haven't defeated. Alright, not there. This grass up here gives us access to our next encounter, which we're going to need to catch 2 of. So hopefully they show up quickly. Jigglypuff. Alright. So we need to do Jigglypuff, just so that way we can breed and get ourselves an Igglybuff from it. We need a male and a female. You're gonna be Cream Puff. Alright, now we just need our male Jigglypuff as well. No, not quite what I need. Right Pokemon, wrong gender. Oh, I'm getting jerked around here. Wild Swallow, that's something. Oh my god, come on. Now, the cool thing is that there is no Lunatone in this game, which means that there's no wild Pokemon that hold Moonstones available to me. That means that I don't need to beef grind on Lunatones to try and gain access to a Moonstone, so I don't have to evolve Jigglypuff. I just need to breed it to get an Igglybuff, which is at least, it's tedious, but not as tedious. And then you... Yeah. Motherfucker. I do this to myself. First things first, we're going to heal back our power points that we have lost. Do a bit of item cleanup. Yeah, you still have pickup. Okay. Now we're just going to make our way through the Rust Surf Tunnel so we can get to the breeding center. Daycare. I don't know why I call it the breeding center. Okay. Just going to take you out temporarily. And you out temporarily. Okay. Yes. And yes. Alright, now. Withdraw. Cool. Alright. Now that that's done, we can come into Mauville here, and we can talk to Watson. Watson is going to tell us to go to New Mauville by giving us the basement key. That is going to give us our next accessible area, and our next little bit of encounters that we can get as well. So we are going to take care of that while we are letting the daycare do its thing. New Mauville is located right over here. We can enter with the basement key. Alright, and we have now encountered our first new encounter of the area, which is Magnemite. Magnemite, we're just going to toss a couple Ultra Balls at. Hopefully they stay. There we go. Alright, I'm going to name you Orba. Alright, now this is a new dungeon. Oh, Voltorb, our next encounter as well. There's a handful of counters that you can get here. Nothing too crazy. You get the Voltorb and the Magnemite line. And there is a rare 1% chance of finding their evolutions here. As well as Electrode being in the Team Magma, or the Team Aqua Hideout section, guaranteed as well. And there's also a Thunderstone here, which I'll be able to use for later. You... Boingo. Alright. we're just going to make our way through here. I will actively try for at least a bit of time to find their evolutions, because if I can get those out of the way preemptively, I feel like it would save me time later trying to get them captured. So that's going to be my main target. Obviously, finish New Mauville and gain access to the lovely little loot that I can get inside. Oh, see? This is what we're here for. I don't know why, but this is the name that came to mind, and so this is what you're getting. Now all we need is Magneton, and then we will have found every single Pokemon in this area, and I don't have to grind evolutions, which is always preferred, I would say. So that's the roundabout way back. Just in case I lock myself out. Ooh, excuse me. That was loud. Yes, obliterated. Okay, yeah, gotta do that. Another Electro or Voltorb. Generator's off, and there's my Thunderstone. I'm going to use this opportunity to make my way back to the entrance, and then in that entry hallway, I'm just going to do that as my little grind for Magneton. Not that I'm fully averse to the idea of grinding the Magnemite out, because it wouldn't really take that long. I think it evolves at level 30 anyways. So, yeah, no, they evolve at level 30. So, Magnemite wouldn't necessarily be a difficult grind, especially because I'm pretty sure mine is at least at a high enough level, where, like, it's only a handful of levels away. It's not bad. But, if I can, you know, at least try and save my time, I will. So, a little bit of running back and forth never hurt nobody. Especially because at this point, I am very, very used to 1% encounters. Come on. And I don't need to grind anything either here, so that's pretty nice. You do have something I want, though. Super Potion! Yay. Yay. I don't know why I did that. Nope. What do you mean I can't escape? It makes no damn sense. Hey, look at that. You know you want to stay in the ball. You know you do. Come on. There we go. This is Orba's. And just like that, I never have to step foot in New Mauville again, and all of those encounters have been complete. Now I can talk to Watson, and he is going to give me good old TM. Oh, look at that. Look at how quick that was. Did they get rid of my egg? should hatch soon. Just do this real quick. It's a straight line from coast to coast. I'm sure this is very exciting content to watch. It's all worth it. It'll all be worth it once I get my hands on that Igglybuff. There it is. Basketball. You go in there. He's gonna eat the egg. Oh, fuck. I'm so smart. You know what? No. Keep you in there for all of time. That's your home now. Now that we've gotten our hands on Igglybuff, Magnemite, Voltorb, Magneton, and Electrode, we can surf east from Mauville, and there's going to be a fisherman who's going to give us the Good Rod, which means we get to go on a little bit of a capture tour here. This guy right here. We now have our Good Rod. Alright, so now we just gotta go on a little bit of a good old-fashioned detour back through the world. It was Route 103, so I have to go all the way back through. I will always appreciate how interconnected the Hoenn region really feels. Like, it truly feels like everything is one big, sprawling area. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, it's about that time for me to restock on my supply of capture items. Do you sell... What's your highest sell? Great balls here. Okay. Arena trap. Ooh. What does the Fall Arbor Mart have? They also only have Great Balls. No, I'll just go for the Great Balls, since I'm right here anyways. Let's do 60. 60 Great Balls ought to cut it. I don't remember if I healed. I'm just gonna do it anyways. Bucket. Bucket we ball. Alright. We just want to fish, for God's sake. I forgot these weird-ass Gen 3 mechanics. Oh boy. I hate this. That's not what I want to see. Not even a nibble. We're gonna go right here. Oh, this is insulting. Really hoping I can get this Pokemon sooner rather than later. Oh. And I know I'm using the good rod because I'm getting Pokemon over a certain level. Probably a really low encounter rate. I stopped paying attention for 2 seconds. There it is, Wailmer. Alright, Wailmer is the Pokemon that we were looking for. Wailmer is going to come in handy because although it's got a high evolution level of 40, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wailmer into Wailord is level 40, so it is going to be a bit of a hassle. But it will be necessary for a very important capture later. And that was much faster. You're gonna be a craw boil. There's a couple more Pokemon I gotta catch, but you know what? With my phone about to die soon, and stream going for almost 2 hours now, I think we're at a good stopping point. So I just want to thank everyone for popping out today. It was awesome. We got to get a lot of stuff done, and I'm looking forward to getting more stuff done. I think I might try to stream again tomorrow for more Oak Challenge, because I'm kind of in the groove of it. So, thanks for popping in.